guys, and welcome to my weekly manga wrap-up. I've mostly been focusing on trying to hastily finish up all those series I got behind on during the fall anime season. So I haven't read that much, I just have 3 books to talk about today. Also, I will be, hopefully, doing my 24-hour manga marathon this weekend, so I've got a lot of titles that I'm sort of holding for that. But I did read a couple things, so I guess we'll start off with one that I've been meaning to get to for a while, but I just haven't. I don't know. That's Volume 8 of A Bride Story by Kaoru Mori. As always, the covers are so beautiful. This one, after the sort of detour last volume where we talked about this love story between these 2 Persian women, her and her, we get back to sort of our main village with our main couple, Amir and Karluk, but this time we're actually focusing on Paria here, who is sort of the first friend that Amir really made within her husband Karluk's village. And she has a very sort of brusque, you could say tsundere personality, so she's always been very nervous about finding a husband. She's very insecure about her sort of abrasive personality, thinking that, because she's not a nice, quiet, obedient woman, she's not going to find a good man. And after Volume 6, her house has actually been destroyed in a sort of attack by some more warlike nomads, and her entire dowry has been destroyed, so she has to sew it all again from scratch. And this volume sort of focuses on that, and focuses also on the village coming together to help the victims of this attack. And of course, as usual, it's very sweet. I adore Paria as a character. She's such a sweet, adorable person. There she is. And I really like this sort of budding romance between her and this boy named Umar, and I'm hoping for the best for her. Obviously, the art, as usual, is gorgeous. There was one page in particular I wanted to show off, so we'll see if I can find it. Look at that! Look at the detail on all of these tapestries. And embroidery. I just can't get over how beautiful Kaoru Mori's art is. She's definitely one of the best artists in the business. Here's Amir standing on a horse. There's also a really cute little event with Amir and Karluk having a bit of a picnic, so I enjoyed that as well. But this is just such a fun series, very sweet, and set in an interesting setting, which is along the Silk Road during the 19th century, and I think that her marriage storyline should end in the next volume or 2, so hopefully Yen Press gives us that before, too many years have gone by. The next thing I read after finishing, finally, part 4 of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure anime, Diamond is Unbreakable, which has become easily my favorite part so far, and Josuke is my favorite JoJo, but I happened to receive something featuring my favorite character from the part in the mail, and was super eager to read it after finishing part 4 of the anime, and that is Rohan at the Louvre, which stars Rohan Kishibe, who I love. This is a full-color volume that was commissioned by the Louvre, so of course there's lots of fun details about the Louvre, and about art preservation and stuff like that, but mostly it's just a fun sort of Indiana Jones-esque story about Rohan Kishibe that features ghosts and zombies and cursed paintings. And the colors are really fun. I wish every single Hirohiko Araki work could be in full color, because his color design is insane. I actually think the color design in part 4 of the anime is nigh perfect. They really captured what his color artwork looks like, and created such a fun psychedelic style, and I think that this reflects that as well. Overall, I enjoyed this a lot, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would, mostly because we're seeing a more, like, sincere, serious side of Rohan. And honestly, what I like about JoJo characters is how, like, insane they are. So I was hoping to see more of him just being a giant tool for absolutely no reason, which is what he spends most of Part 4 doing. And of course, there's the more sincere side of him with, you know, remembering his friendship with Raimi and wanting to stop Kira in order to avenge her death, but at the same time, he's just a super prick who turns people into books because he can. And I wish there had been more of that in here. I feel like there wasn't quite enough levity, which is weird to say for, like, a Hirohiko Araki book, but that's kind of how I feel. And I feel like you might be a little confused if you go into this not knowing anything about Rohan. It's pretty matter-of-fact about, like, the fact that he has this superpower that turns people into books. So if you're not familiar with him, I feel like you might be confused. But if you are familiar with him, you might be left a little cold, because this just isn't as wacky as the main JoJo series. So overall, I'm happy to have it in my collection. It is a beautiful book. And I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure and I love Rohan, but I was expecting a little more kookiness from it. The final thing that I read this week was the first volume of a new Yuri title from Seven Seas, which has been hyped quite a bit. This has been very popular in Japan, and it's made a name for itself because it is running actually in a mainstream magazine, Dengeki Daio, and that is volume 1 of Bloom Into You by Neo Nakatani, and I know that Nakatani is a woman, but I don't know anything else about her, really. She says in the afterword at the end that she's never really done a Yuri title before, but she's always done stories about girls, and that the editor just kind of approached her and was like, hey, you want to do a Yuri title? And she was like, yeah, and that was that. This is the story of this girl. Her name is Yu. She loves shoujo manga and Disney movies and romance stories, and she wants to feel that fluttering in her heart that makes her feel like she's floating, but she just hasn't yet. She's getting worried because she's just never felt that feeling of being in love, and she feels like she's just not capable of it. And she meets a member of the student council. Her name is Nanami, that's her, who seems to be on the same wavelength with her. She's turned down at least 10 boys since the start of the semester, and she says that she's never felt in love. Yu is upset when Nanami confesses to her and basically reveals that the real reason she's never fallen in love with any of these boys is that she's not into boys. And Yu is upset because she thought she had found sort of kinship with her, but she doesn't feel in love with Nanami. There's kind of an interesting angle where it's sort of suggesting that Yu might be asexual, but I don't think that's going to be the direction that it's going to go in. I think she's going to end up falling in love with Nanami and wanting to kiss her and stuff. But mostly this is just super cute. I like that these girls go to a co-ed school, so there are, like, male characters, and you see them dealing not just with sort of these characters struggling with, am I really in love with another girl? But also struggling with the other side of being a lesbian in particular. I don't feel attracted to boys, which is something a lot of lesbians really struggle with. And I think there's a male character in particular who's going to end up being sort of a kind of the first person to be told about their relationship and really being, like, gung-ho supporting them, and that's going to be super cute. It's just super cute. I think the black-haired girl, Nanami, is super adorable. Ah, she's so cute. And I'm just really eager to see their relationship develop. And I do wish they would continue with the asexual angle for Yu, but I really don't think they're going to. But that would be nice if they did. Definitely, if you're looking for a good Yuri manga, especially one that's not, like, weird and fetishy, and one that doesn't necessarily rely on all the cliches of the genre, this is looking like a really promising title to check out. And those 3 books, see if I can get them together, these guys, are the only ones that I read this week, but I will be hopefully participating in the 24-hour manga marathon this weekend, so expect to see that wrap up from me sometime next week. Let me know in the comments what you guys have been reading this week, and if you have any interest in any of these titles, and yeah, happy reading, guys, bye!